Okay. Itamikoko, good evening. It is just about 10 o'clock in the PM, 2200 hours on the last day of February 2025. And we're in the new moon, meaning that we're entering the sixth of our 7 winter lunar cycles. And I figured I would try to fit in one more book review for the end of the month here. I did a review of The Chrysalis the other week. After finishing that, I went to my public library and picked up The Book of Elsewhere by Keanu Reeves and China Miéville. It's a new book, so it's in demand, and I've only been allowed 3 weeks to rent it. No renewals, no holds. 3 weeks, finish the book. And that should be easy. I've been doing these security shifts, and in the security shifts, I can easily, they're 12-hour shifts. I'm doing 3 or 4 of them a week at minimum. And I've been reading, 100 plus pages a night easily. But this book has been different. In fact, I've been working on it now for 4 nights. The first night, I think I went 30 to 40 pages into it, something like that. Stepped back, watched a few reviews online from other people, what they thought about it, and came back to it again fresh from the beginning. I thought, okay, now I kind of get what this book is supposed to be about. I'm going to get into it all fresh again from the beginning. And let me tell you, it was no better, really, with the fresh start. At this point, I'm 70 pages in. And that's over 4 shifts, 4 12-hour shifts. And certainly I can read more than 20 pages in a shift. I just am having an issue with this book. Maybe it's just me, something about the style, but I'm going to give it my review. I don't really look highly on book reviews from people that haven't finished the book, and so I don't want to be doing that, but I'm going to do that because I don't want to finish this book. I'm going to bring it back to the library tomorrow, give it back to them, and find something else to read. And, at some point, you got to just admit that that's okay sometimes, Sometimes the book is not for you or for whatever reason. And why sludge through forcing yourself to move through something that you're not having any fun with? And that's the case with this book. Obviously, I don't hold this book in high regard. It is based on the Berserker graphic novels that Keanu Reeves was involved in creating. He's developed this character named B, like the letter B. And this guy is many tens of thousands of years old. He's an immortal. And he's got some of the problems that immortals have. This is not the first time that we've seen a story about immortals, some of the conflicts that they face in their life. Personally, I really like the movie Hancock with Will Smith. That was a great immortal story. Even more than that, something that most people wouldn't even think about in this category, but what about Groundhog Day? Bill Murray. That's a story about, that's the immortal dilemma. The same shit that they're trying to express a lot of it in this book, but in that case it was like somebody who had freshly become immortal, and then having to deal with that. But yeah, this is a story about immortals. You're not supposed to have needed to check out the graphic novels in order to understand this book. It's supposed to stand alone. That's just how it was written. China Miéville is the one who actually did the writing on the book, though, it was in collaboration with Keanu in terms of the, the ideas and all of that kind of stuff. But the writing is very thick, and China takes a lot of artistic license with his writing. He tries a lot of different writing styles, a lot of different voices. Some of them work all right, some of them don't work at all. And my biggest issue with this book is that I'm a fifth of the way through it. I'm, 70 pages into a 300-page book, more than a fifth of the way through. And I can't find a story yet. I don't know that there's a story in this book. There maybe one develops, but it ain't there. It ain't there 70 pages in. What I am getting out of it is basically it's a collection of testimonials from people who have known this character B in some capacity, in different eras, in different social situations, etc. And they're like basically talking about their experiences with B. It's, I don't know, it's like all, what would I call it? It's like watching a movie preview that just continues to be a preview, and it doesn't have a story yet. There's no story. I can't find a story in here, and it's 70 pages in. If I don't have a story, I gotta quit. I gotta stop. I gotta put it down, because I'm not just gonna listen to the Gospels of B. I'm not into it like that. I want to read a story, and I'm not finding one here. And so, I don't like to start up a book and get even that far into it and give up. But I got quit. I'm putting this book down, not finishing it, bringing it back to the library, giving it back to them. And I think, obviously the hook is Keanu, right? His name's there. He's one of the authors, and we all know who Keanu Reeves is. Famous actor. I've been watching Keanu Reeves movies most of my life, from Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure on through, and I'm a fan of Keanu. Just in some of his movies, I really enjoy his work. I really enjoy his characters and stuff like that. But this is not the first time I have seen Keanu fail, and I would say fail exactly. I mean, there's a book, there's a product. Somebody's gonna like it. Somebody who's a special fan of that kind of those graphic novels or something is gonna just, somebody who wants to hear the Gospels of B is gonna enjoy it. But I want a story, and that's not being produced there. And it reminds me of the time back in the mid 1990s. I was going to school out in Boston at the University of Boston, University of Massachusetts, Boston Harbor, and Keanu Reeves had a band called Dog Star, and I went to go see Dog Star play. And again, it was rock music, and Keanu had a guitar and was playing music, but it wasn't anything I wanted to listen to. It wasn't anything. There wasn't a single song, not a single one, that I found exciting, that I could take away and be even a little bit of a real Dog Star fan. But I got hooked, into going to the show because it's fucking Keanu Reeves. I think even if I remember correct, the guys working the club that night in Boston, they were joking around. Instead of introducing him right away as Dog Star, they're like, "Now welcoming Wild Stallions," from Bill and Ted's. But yeah, it's Keanu Reeves. It's what would you call it? I don't know. It's kind of gimmicky. But I wanted to give him the chance. I wanted to see, what a Keanu Reeves book would be like. Now I've seen. Now I can move on into the future. Yeah, I'm not impressed. I just can't read it. I just can't continue reading it. And unfortunately, I don't know if it ever develops any kind of story or anything. All I can tell you is from what I read, it's just I struggled with it. I really did. And he's, a guy that's lived for many thousands of years, and he's all, kind of like depressed seeming, right? Like he's like, I've seen it all happen, and everything that's happened before, that's happening now has happened other times before. It's all, none of it's new. He's looking for how do you become mortal. Doesn't necessarily want to die, although that's included in the package. But something about that mortality, he thinks he'll be happier. I don't know. But, the way that he's bored with life and everything that, has happened before or that's happening now has happened before, and I've seen it all, and blah, blah, blah. And the shittiness of people, humans, and all that stuff. Everything that he's witnessed, and how he's all depressed about it. It's kind of like how I feel like I'm depressed about that book, Like we've seen this before done way better, And now we're seeing it done here, and it's not even being done. It's not a story. It's just a build-up of a character, and some of the writing, like I say, is just a struggle to even, like, it's almost unreadable. The very first opening of the book is a bombing scene that is really difficult to read and understand what the fuck is going on. And I'm not the only one that feels that way. There's other reviewers out there that were like, "What was that?" But yeah, my opinion is, if you really want to check it out, but don't be afraid to just ditch it when it's not doing what you think a book should do, because to me that's what the issue is here. So I'm looking forward to getting back in the library tomorrow, finding myself a new book by, I don't know, doesn't matter. Find something interesting that's got some story behind it, and put this effort away. I struggle with it. It's fourth shift that I've tried, and I'm giving up. I can't do it anymore. So sorry, Keanu. Sorry, China. But I'm not holding your book up there. If it was a thumbs up or thumbs down situation, it would be a thumbs down. If it's a 1 to 4 stars, I'm kind of giving it like maybe even just a 1 star, just a 1 star because of the unreadability and lack of story and all of that. I gave Chrysalis a 2 star. I would think this one maybe even just a 1 star. It's just, I can't even read through it like Chrysalis, I give up. So yeah, that is my review of the Book of Elsewhere. It shall go elsewhere, not in my hand anymore. Again.